Hello, and welcome to Question Your Manson. As you may already know, I'm sure that it's been said that John 5 recently spoke about the altercation he and Marilyn Manson had on stage many years ago. And Captain Kirk, here, has something to share about that with us.
The realm of truth, of course, where else would I be? And yes, I have a spoonful of truth for all of you.
I see. And that is?
The truth is that Saint Severin here is intentionally painting Marilyn Manson as an abuser. Unable to get along with co-workers all because he kicked John 5 in the face, it was clearly all John's fault. Even John said it himself.
Why don't we allow the audience to decide? And you go back to your Starship Enterprise, Captain Kirk. There. Let's get to the real meat of it. Let's take a look at the recent words by John 5 on the infamous clip of the altercation between he and Manson.
What happened was my sister passed away. My sister died unexpectedly, and I was shocked. I was in Europe, and I was coming down the stairs, off a stage after a concert, and they told me my sister had died. And I was in a state of shock. You just go into a state of shock.
You see, he already seems to blame his state of shock for the altercation. And Manson was the one who whether intentionally or unintentionally kicked him in the face while doing his usual obnoxious kick dancing. John 5 single quote as shock has nothing to do with the initial confrontation. Go on.
And here's the strange thing that happened to me. I didn't sleep for days and days and days. It was the strangest thing. I just wasn't tired. And I remember going to the band members' rooms, going, I can't sleep. I just can't sleep. I haven't slept in now 2 days or blah blah blah.
When people speak this way, it usually means they are attempting to quiet down some opposition within their own head about what they are speaking about. Could it possibly mean that maybe Manson made him go days without sleeping as have been accused of by Evan Rachel Wood and the other accusers? Something to think about. Let's continue.
So anyway, fast forward to the show. Now, what Manson did, that happened all the time. He didn't do anything wrong. I just snapped. It was weird. I went nuts. I didn't even remember. I just snapped. And I feel terrible watching it now because it really was my fault. You can't really hear what he's saying, obviously, but he's saying, pick up your guitar. 'Cause it looked like he is going. Come on.
John says to start with that Manson did something that happens all the time. But then he didn't do anything wrong. What? The fact that he kicked you in the face? He does this all the time? But it isn't something that is wrong of him to do. According to who? And why does it sound like you're covering for him? Is John really trying to tell other people that what Manson did wasn't wrong?
But he's saying, pick up your guitar, because he knew what was going on. And I feel horrible about it. But it was just a bad situation at that time. It was terrible because he was so nice during that time and all that stuff. I was in such a weird place, and it was just a bad time. I don't even remember it happening. It was just terrible.
So, you still feel as if you should feel terrible about this? Why? Because people are now speaking of it in reference to the abuse allegations. That's a strange thing to feel bad about, and even more so to take responsibility for this. I'm so sorry, John 5. According to the same source that supplied the latest quotes from John 5 also said this a few years prior. The context of why John 5 got so mad makes this incident heartbreaking. Apparently, in June 2003 when Manson was doing a series of shows in Europe, John 5 received the news that his father's cancer had taken a turn for the worse and asked Manson to fly back home so as to say goodbye to his father. Manson declined his request, which triggered John 5's single quote as severe anxiety and insomnia. The day they were supposed to go up on stage for the Rock am Ring, He hadn't slept for 4 days and was emotionally drained. That's when he received a phone call, and while expecting bad news from his father, he was shocked to find out that his sister had overdosed and passed away. Thus, on the performance day, John 5 was on the edge of having a big breakdown, and Manson's kick didn't help. He kept touring with Manson for a couple more months until he was fired. About that night, John 5 said there's no bad blood between him and Manson, and that he was not antagonizing John 5 following his reaction to the kick, but was rather trying to calm him down, asking him to keep his shit together for one more song. Read between the lines, folks. The details matter. And since when is it a crime to not like it to be carelessly kicked in the face by a rock star at work, whom pulls the shenanigans frequently? And obviously that same rock star obviously showed no concern nor remorse for the incident, not on the stage nor afterwards. Instead, he refused John 5 of his request, and soon after, he fired him. Do not let anyone tell you that this kind of abuse is okay, simply because it's Marilyn Manson. Or that it's normal for rock concerts, and that no one should be upset by being kicked in the face while working on stage at the workplace. Remember, always question your Manson.